let's get started, shall we? Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the final session of the Complete Platform series, where we've been exploring how HR works better when everything connects. I'm Emma from Elmo's marketing team, and I'll be your host today. I'm joined with Camilla, who you might remember from our recruitment and onboarding webinar earlier. Camilla is one of our solution consultants. She works closely with HR teams every day to simplify processes and reduce admin. And Camilla will be taking you through a live demo of the Elmo platform today. Say hi, Camilla.
Good morning, everybody. And if you're dialing in from New Zealand, kia ora.
Yeah, so we hope you have a cup of coffee to help you watch. Over the past month, we've tackled recruitment to onboarding disconnects and performance to pay chaos. Today, we are closing out with the series with a high stake disconnect, learning and compliance. A quick housekeeping note before we get started. Today's session is being recorded and you will receive it on Monday in your email. You are on listen mode only, so please pop your questions in the Q&A function at the bottom of the Zoom screen. We'll try and answer the questions as we go, and we have time at the end to answer those. As you're joining from different locations, I would first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land. For me, that's the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to elders, past, present, as early innovators, and acknowledge their significant contributions to science and technology throughout land, water, and culture. Just a recap on what we're covering today, the common pain points in learning and compliance, what that looks like when learning and compliance are connected in one platform, how that translates to audit confidence, and then Camilla will show you a live demo and then we'll head into Q&A. So I wanted to ground today's session in what we're seeing in the HR market in Australia and New Zealand, because it is a pretty clear that the signal that learning has moved on from a nice to have to a can't ignore. We will be releasing our annual HR industry benchmark, which is now, I believe, in its 6th or 7th year, where we asked 1,200 HR leaders in Australia and New Zealand about what's keeping them up at night this year. And here's what stood out. Firstly, 26% said their top challenge for 2026 is upskilling, cross-skilling, or reskilling employees. And to be clear, that's not one of the top challenges, that is the number one challenge. So HR has got this pressure coming from all angles. Roles are changing faster than position descriptions can keep up. Capability gaps are showing up in real time, and HR is being asked to build workforce readiness and prove it. Secondly, it's not just talk, budgets are also following. 53% told us they're increasing their learning and development budgets compared to 2025. So even with a lot of cross-scrutiny in a lot of organizations, learning is still being prioritized, which tells you organizations are trusting HR teams to drive capability, retention, and performance through development. And lastly, and this one's the biggest shift, 57% said they're increasing their AI skills training and AI capability development budgets. And that is a new addition this year for this year's survey. We don't have like-to-like benchmark data to compare to, but the direction is pretty obvious. AI capability is rapidly becoming a part of a core workforce capability. Now, here's the catch, and that's why today's topic matters so much. When learning ramps up, compliance complexity ramps up with it. There's more training happening across more teams, more tracking and reporting expectations, more risk if mandatory training isn't assigned, completed, or evidenced properly, which as a result, there's more pressure when it comes to audits or board reporting. So the question becomes, how do you scale learning, build capability, including AI capability, and still stay audit ready without the spreadsheet admin and cross fingers? When training records lives in spreadsheets, credentials are tracked manually, and audit prep turns into a last-minute scramble, compliance stops being business as usual and becomes an organizational risk. Training sits in one place, employee records in another, and credentials stored somewhere else, and reporting becomes a manual mashup. I'm going to hand off to Camilla to show you what it looks like when learning and compliance are connected, with visibility, automation, and audit-ready reporting built in. Off to you, Camilla.
Thanks, Emma. What you are about to see is what happens when learning and compliance stops living in separate silos. The goal is simple: make compliance business as usual, visible, automated, and audit ready without the chasing and spreadsheet stress. Elmo brings together learning from course library to training assignments, HR core, a single source of truth for all employee data and insights, real-time compliance dashboard, and audit reporting. When this works together, manual tracking becomes automated, spreadsheet chaos becomes structured compliance, and audit panic becomes audit confidence. Let me show you through the eyes of somebody living with this problem right now. Meet Rachel. She's the operational manager at a healthcare provider with 380 employees across 4 aged care facilities. Rachel is responsible for making sure staff members has current credentials and have completed mandatory training. Right now, she's firefighting compliance gaps instead of managing operations. Rachel's current reality looks like this. Induction is a hit and miss. Credentials are sitting in spreadsheets, and when audit comes up, it's a scramble to put all the evidence together. The result, too many hours spent hunting for answers instead of focusing on her core duties. Now, let me show what it's like to have everything connected. So, Emma, I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Can I please get a thumbs up from you when you can see my screen?
Yes, can see your screen.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So, a little bit of housekeeping. I will be looking to my right, and it's not that I'm being rude, it's just that my camera is on my computer and I will be sharing my big screen because you don't want to see me squinting this time in the morning. Also, talking about this time in the morning, I am dialing in from Brisbane in Queensland, so do not panic if you look at my time. If you are dialing in from different states, you're going to have a different time. And if you are dialing in for New Zealand, it's nearly lunchtime for you. Also, I do have my demo environment on today, and I'm going to be demonstrating through my demo environment. So I have all of Elmo's modules turned on. So if you have an eye keen for detail, and if you've seen things here that perhaps are novelty or you want to get to know a little bit more, let us know later. I will be happy to come and demonstrate that for you. Cool. So this is where Rachel transformation begins. Instead of email links and manual assignments, new starter gets automatically role-based training. So remember, I don't know if you were here, but if you remember from my previous webinar, we talked about the power of our workforce or workflow tool. Here is when Rachel can easily create workflows and she can utilize conditional logic to assign training. And when Rachel adds a new user or somebody adds a new user into Elmo, the software already have key data from the HR core platform, such as position, locations, and etc. So in this example, we applying conditional logic here, asking, is this position a registered nurse? Or this person on a position that is a registered nurse? If so, we need dementia care, manual handling, and infection control. If not, it's business as usual. So now what we are going to see is what this new starter will see. So let me jump as a Daisy. Daisy is my new incomer and she is on a onboarding dashboard. If you remember from previous webinar, I covered how important it is for you to put some key information. However, on the learning side here, this is where Daisy can check all the learning that needs to be completed. She gets a clear list of requirement training. She has the estimate time that will take for each module so she can prioritize. She has a clear vision of the due date, and Elmo is prioritizing what she needs to do first. So today, she needs to complete the fire safety for the facility that she's going to be work. No more emails, no more, oh, I didn't know I had to do that. It's all really, really nice and easy.
Camilla, I just want to pause here because this is really powerful for onboarding. But let's say if Rachel didn't have the onboarding module, or what about existing employees? How does this work beyond day one?
Great question. So I agree with you, Emma. So having an onboarding and learning in one platform really shines. However, for those who only have learning or perhaps already have existing users, Elmo allows you to create assignment roles based or training assignment roles based on perhaps position or a role. Like I have here, role, registered nurse, assign all of those training. Or perhaps you can even put other, it could also be employment type. So casuals will need to get a condensed induction. Permanent will get full program or location. So everybody a location facility two needs to do the facility two fire safety. It can also be based on custom fields as well. The system applies those rules the moment the employee record is created or change within Almo. And the best part of it is all captured and reported. So let me show you as well the training matrix. It's one of my favorite reports. I worked in compliance for many years and they used to take me ages to put it together. So based on a very simple assignment rules, like for example, the registered nurse, Rachel can have a holistic view of a comprehensive matrix that can be exported or even scheduled to be sent to managers. So let's say on the first of the month, all managers will receive a training matrix. So they know that they will need to allocate time for some key stakeholders to complete that training as well.
That's awesome, Camilla. What happens if, let's say, Daisy gets promoted or moves into a different role? What happens to her training then?
Oh, it gets auto assigned. So Rachel doesn't need to lift a finger. She knows that the right training is being assigned to the right person.
That's awesome. So training is automatically assigned. Healthcare is a heavily regulated industry. What about, let's say, licenses, registrations, and those expiry dates? That's usually where I hear the spreadsheets chaos happens.
Exactly. In the old world, Rachel will have a spreadsheet and she will spend hours picking expiry dates and spend hours chasing people for new documents. But not anymore. In the Almo HR Core platform, all employee credentials are stored with expiry dates captured. Like, for example, we have here the practicing license that will expire in November 2027, or we have the NDIS check that will expire in March 2027 as well. And the system automatically send renewal reminders and you can choose the interval that you want that to send. So for example, 2 months before or 3 months before, Daisy here is going to receive an email with a link. She clicks on the link asking, hey, we need a new license. She clicks on that, provides it. If she doesn't do it, it escalates as well. So Rachel doesn't write emails. She does not need to be chasing people, playing the chasing game.
And no one likes a chasing game, right?
No.
Camilla, let's talk about audit today. How does Rachel see her overall compliance at a glance?
The system automatically, so as part of the Insights tool, there's a suggested learning dashboard. And this is where Rachel can see enrollment completion rate across the organizations, who's overdue, who's yet to start, all of that information in one screen.
That's awesome. And let's say, what if an auditor asks something specific that's not on this dashboard? How would Rachel get that information?
Oh, right. And that's what auditors do. They will ask a lot of questions and they will put you on the spot. This is where the old world will fall apart. If the audit, oh, something went wrong there. If the audit requests something new or something on the spot, um, with Elmo Insights, Rachel can simply ask the question in plain English. So I ask here, show the Dementia Essential Courses stats. And my favorite part is that she can export this data, she can chart this data, or she can even ask follow-up questions in plain English too. So add to courses or add information on all courses. If the auditor is very peculiar or if they need a very specific cut of information, she can use the report builder, which I have here, where she can choose what set of data she wants to add to the report. She can generate that. She can save, download, and even pin to a dashboard. So she's not sending emails back and forth or building spreadsheets. She's creating the exact view that the auditor asked for on the spot. Keep it in mind, right, Emma, that Rachel is an operational manager. She's not a data analyst. So in the old world, she would spend hours trying to extract information from different systems and spreadsheets. With Alma Insights, which was designed to help or to was designed for those without the strong reporting building skills. HR asks questions in plain English, the AI generates, they can export, and they do not need a data analyst. So instead of an 8 hour scramble, she walks into the audit with a repeatable, exportable evidence ready to go.
That's awesome, Camilla. Now that we've shown assigning, tracking, and the reporting, where does the content creation come from? I know that's a massive burden that takes a lot of hours. So where does that training content come from?
Oh, look at this, Emma. This is where Elmo really shines. We offer a comprehensive course library, and we are talking 400 plus e-learning video courses build with ANZ in mind, so Australian and New Zealand market. And it's not just compliance. There's a mix across soft skills, productivity, content like aged care, construction. Yesterday, I was with a mining client. We spent a fair bit of time here looking at all the mining courses that we have. And like, let's take ethic and conduct, for instance. For example, we have an AI training, which is a good illustration that the library is always evolving to keep pace with what organizations need right now, not just what they needed a few years ago. We do have an in-house content team who keeps this library up to date with the latest change in legislation. So if you look closely here on my screen, you can see the content is broken into to support different state requirements. Like we have Queensland, we have WA, and we also have a New Zealand. And the best part, it's all ready to go. Rachel can publish and assign courses quickly through Alma Learning and still get the tracking and reporting they need. So Rachel will save hours on content creation instead of building anything from scratch.
That's awesome, Camilla. Let's say if you're using the content library, can Rachel still tailor what the employees see? For example, let's say it's adding their own images or adding internal policy. How does she do that without having to rebuild the whole course from scratch?
Absolutely, she can do that. So Rachel can browse through the course library. So let's say she can come in and preview this course. Once she realizes that that's exactly the content she wants to use as base, she can save it to her library. Once it's in her library, is hers to own. We come with a full course builder. So this is where she can come in and let me choose a slide here and change. Perhaps she wants to change this image, or perhaps she wants to change the text and put it something more relatable to her business. She has full creative control um,
That's
utilizing
awesome.
the Elmo course builder. Yeah.
Beautiful. And once that is assigned, how does that experience carry through mobile for, let's say, the people that are frontline workers?
Mm. This is critical for frontline workers, to be honest. They can complete training on their mobile, on their iPad, during their break, on a staff room, on a tablet. We actually have an app called Elmo HR that's available on Apple or Google Play Store. So training is accessible anywhere, anytime. Also important to note that normally when I mention that we do have an app, I hear saying, "Oh, but my staff, uh, some people from my staff member, or some of my staff members will not want to add another app to their phone." It's fine. Elmo is device responsive. So any course or anything assigned, they're going to receive an email with a link. They click on the link and they can access through their mobile without the need to download any app. But for Gen Zs, they will probably want to download an app and do it from their couch, lying down, which is fine. But what important is it doesn't stop at complete and mobile. The completion automatically becomes your compliance evidence.
Cool. Thanks, Camilla. I've just checked the chat and there's a question around custom content. If an organization has a specific internal policy or procedure that they need to train on, how would they do that in Elmo?
Oh, that's a great question, actually. The e-learning module is really just the beginning of a much richer learning journey here for us in Almo. So, in terms of content, you can either utilize the content that we have, you can create a new module, you can bring content that you currently have on perhaps SCORM format that you're utilizing on any content creator tool like Articulate, for example. But let's go back here to Daisy because I prepared a few examples to show. Here at Almo, we want learning to be much more than just clicking next through a slide deck. So let me show you how dynamic that can be. For instance, look at this example. I went through the Australian Human Rights Commission, and I got a video that they have it on YouTube. Everybody can do that. And I want all of my staff members to watch this video and then acknowledge that we will be reinforcing this policy. So this is one of the learning journey, a very simple one that I created here. Another one is what we call a blended journey or a complex course, which is more robust. We start with the e-learning module with a quiz in the end that everybody needs to complete that e-learning module. And then we go through the face-to-face training where Daisy here can choose what session she's going to be part of. Um, we can run room capacities. We can also help you with a waiting list. We can assign facilitators. The facilitators can bulk mark people or the presence as well. Following that, I want Daisy to read my policies and look at that. I can force them to download so they cannot just come in and accept the policy without downloading. And as I like to joke it on my demos, we can force them to download, but we cannot force them to read it. What I added here is a written assessment. So, hey, give me 5 words of what you learned today. For industry regulated businesses, there's a lot of verification of capacity. This is when I need to perform a task in front of a supervisor. So perhaps on the healthcare industry, I need to operate a hoist with a patient in it in front of a lead nurse. Or perhaps on a mining, I need to drive one of those big trucks in front of somebody. Oh, imagine that, Emma.
I'd love
Uh,
to see it.
I wouldn't. And then I need to get the supervisor to sign me off on that task. So here, Daisy can download that VOC template, get her supervisor to watch her performing that task and sign, and then upload that back. Also, one more thing to note is that external training. Let's say, and I always use this as an example, CPR or first aid. Every office has a first aider. Here in Brisbane, we have one. This is where Daisy can add any external training to the platform as well. We are going to capture completion and expiry date and even evidence of that training. And this is also where this can be added to the training matrix as well. So we are going to make everything um, audit ready for Rachel.
Awesome. So it's flexible. You can use Elmo's library where it works and add your own where you need to.
Exactly. So most organizations in Australia and New Zealand, they do a 70 to 80, 20, oh, let's call it 80-20 blend, where 70 to 80% is pre-built courses with compliance and soft skills, and 20 to 30% will be internal policies or role-specific procedures. But the key here is that it's all on a complete platform, all tracked the same way, all ready or audit ready as well.
Awesome. So let's see Rachel's before and after in terms of transformation. So hopefully you can see my screen all okay.
Yes. So
Perfect.
Rachel transitioned from a compliance police to strategic operation manager. She's not chasing expired certificates and updating spreadsheets. She's reviewing dashboards, addressing gaps proactively, and managing operation. The role she was hired to do. This is what happened when learning, compliance, tracking, onboarding, and reporting works as one connected platform. So, Emma, back to you now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Camilla. And thank you for taking us through the Elmo platform with learning. And also, thank you for letting me interrupt, as always, with my questions. Before we go into the takeaways, we just wanted a quick poll to see if you'd like to take any next steps. I'm just going to launch that now. So take a moment to select what best suits you, whether that's you wanting to explore what that looks like the Elmo platform in action with your own organization, or if you're a current customer with a question. So I'll leave that up as we go into the takeaways. So, number one, when learning credentials and reporting are split across systems, or worse, spreadsheets, compliance becomes reactive and you only find gaps when it matters most. Two, when it is connected end to end, compliance becomes business as usual. Role-based training is assigned automatically, triggers alerts, and you've got real-time visibility with audit-ready reporting. And finally, yes, you save time, but the biggest win is the risk reduction and audit confidence. Fewer lapses, there's clearer accountability, and evidence ready in clicks. So, this will be the last poll, but I am going to launch another feedback poll. Your feedback is really valuable for us to improve on our session, so please also take a moment to fill that out while we go into Q&A. Awesome. So let me open up the chat. Bear with me one second. Um, Someone's asked, morning, will we be able to get a copy of the slides? Yes, I will be able to get that to you. Does Elmo support CPD points, Camilla?
Yes, absolutely. You can also allocate CPD points to courses and we help you track, and we will help the individual track that CPD program as well.
Awesome. Amanda has asked, is Insights is another module you need to purchase? If you already have Elmo HR Core, that will be included as part of your platform. Camilla, does Elmo support the migration of historical learning records?
Yes, we can definitely help you with that. I will recommend you book a meeting with us so we can scope this further for you.
Yeah, perfect. Samantha has asked which module is the content library part of?
The learning module, and I believe you need to have purchased the content library as well.
Perfect. Let me just check for time as well. Sorry, there's so many things got up on my screen. Nearly at time, so we'll answer a little bit few questions. Someone has asked, I have existing learning content. Can you bring that with me with Elmo?
Absolutely. As long as in a SCORM format, you can bring that into Elmo.
Perfect.
Good questions today, Emma.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover on, Camilla?
Yes, you can create your own certificates of completion as well within Elmo. So today I just scraped the surface of what the learning module can do. There's a lot more there. I will recommend you just book a demo with us and we can take you through the ins and outs
Yes.
of this module. But also, yes, you can create your own certificate of completion. And it's automated. Once you complete, it goes through it. Cool.
Beautiful. So I think we're just at time now. We just wanted to give a massive, massive shout out for those who join us today and for those who have joined us across the different episodes. We hope you have a lovely weekend and thank you for joining us this Friday morning. Thanks, guys.